It's the 5th of June, 2025 at about 10 to 11. Haven't been live for a little while now, so I thought I'd do a very brief live stream. And the reason for this is very, very straightforward. Next week, let me just stop that. Next week, I'm heading across to the Cereals event where you'll be able to find me on stand 118. And what we're doing there is talking all things agriculture, agricultural health and safety, which will be the brunt of this very brief chat today. But we're also talking about rural crime prevention. And then if you're interested, we have a brand new innovative tech light solution, a sanitizing light that we're also going to be demonstrating at that agricultural show, which has implications not just for the farming and agricultural world, but much, much wider afield. And I'll talk about that very briefly later. So it's Richard Wade, Risk and Safety Compliance Services. You'll know me as the guy who's always talking about rural crime prevention and farm health and safety training. And what I wanted to do this morning is very, very quickly give you an insight into our farm worker health and safety training course. This course is fully online. Let me stop that, pop that up. The course is fully online. And if you head to that website there, www.farmsafetytraining.co.uk, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It will give you access to both of our online farm health and safety training courses. But these courses are slightly different. They're kind of quirky, I guess, in a way. What we did is they're not new. We developed these during the pandemic when there was a need for decent online training, but there wasn't that much around. But we've developed and improved them over time. So the product that you see online now is actually pretty quite good. I would say that, wouldn't I? But it's true. Let me show you the course itself. I'm going to give you the view of the course as a student. So what you're now looking at is exactly what you'd see if you were a student. How do you enroll? Very, very straightforward. Head across to farmsafetytraining.co.uk and decide which course you'd like to enroll on. There's a farm manager's health and safety course, and then we've got the farm workers health and safety course. And there are key differences between the two. The aims of both are the same: to keep people alive and safe and free from harm at work in the agriculture, landed estate and rural sector, the sector that kills more people every year on a consistent basis over the last 10 years than all of the dangerous industries that you'd normally associate with risk, like construction and waste and all that, those kind of things. Every year, the farming sector, sadly, is right up there in the HSE statistics as one of the key killers. We'll explain in the course all about the dangers, all about the hassles, and more importantly, what people can do to prevent themselves becoming part of those statistics. So first of all, to get enrolled, go to farmsafetytraining.co.uk, pick a course, click. It will take you to the landing page where you can read a little bit about the course, find out what the course is all about, what the contents are, who it's aimed at. And then at the point where you think, yep, this is for me, click buy now, pay your money. There's discounts available, as you'll see on that website, up to and including Farm Safety Week 2025, which is between the 21st and the 25th of July this year. You can get a discount on both of those courses. So I urge you to go and have a look at farmsafetytraining.co.uk, click the link for the course you fancy taking and pay your fee, get your discount. And then this is what happens. You end up here in the school. It's very straightforward. There's a little bit of a disclaimer. That's very important because the aim of the course isn't to turn people into health and safety professionals in the agricultural sector. It's an awareness course. We'll give you all of the info you need to keep yourselves safe. We'll give you all of the tips and downloads that you can take back to your work environment, but we're not trying to teach you to be safety experts in agriculture. And I think that's important to mention right at the get-go. So you find yourself in the course. And as you can see here on the left-hand side, we've broken the course down into bite-sized chapters, but then there's a bit with a difference. For example, well, let's just open up each course is presented in a video format, and as you click in, this guy appears. Let me take that back to the start and shut him up. That'll be a first. You end up on each of the chapters, and you can just simply work your way through. Now you can see me there, inside there. It's how the course is presented. In addition to downloads and free takeaways and quizzes, there's almost like a one-to-one session with my good self. I have over 28 years experience in farming, landed estates, agriculture, and risk management generally. I'm a health and safety professional by trade. That's what I do. I happen to specialize in that particular sector. So as I'm talking to you, the student, inside the course, I can bring in all of those anecdotes, all of those experiences that I've encountered over the years, and I can bring to you the things that I've investigated and have been involved with over those years, and give you the top takeaway, the tips that prevent it from happening in your particular workplace. And that's invaluable advice, and it's an integral and really important part of this course. So you know, we work our way through the video chapters. We, as you would expect, talk about the things of interest. So what's out there? What's killing people? What's injuring people? What's making people sick in their work today and likely tomorrow? So we've looked at all of the statistics, easy for me to say. We know what's going to happen. I can almost predict, and almost to the numbers, what the statistics will say for next year and the year after and the year after, because it doesn't change. We went back over 10 years and put data together on accident causation in this sector, and it's always the same common things. It's what you see in front of you there. So we talk about those, but more importantly, we then talk about how people can prevent them occurring. So we talk then all about the common hazards in farming, agriculture, landed estates, and again, it's put across in a video format, like you see me yakking away there on the screen. We bring in other video clips about things that have gone wrong, things that are happening every day on a farm near you, or a landed estate somewhere near you. And we can learn from other people's errors and mistakes, because at the end of the day, we can narrow down the causal factors to a very, very limited number of things. We go into the detail of that. And at the end of this particular course, the student or the farm manager or the farm worker will have some real tangible stuff to take back. The learnings and the takeaways from this course, you can literally pick up and put into your own workplace, with the aim of keeping you and your people safe. That's really, really important. Let me stop that video. One thing I want to mention here is we have a virtual farm inside of our course. And before I put this on, let me just bring myself back up. Before I put this on, we wanted our course to be slightly different. So when I put this together, I looked around and I actually paid my money, and I sat a number of online agricultural health and safety courses. I wanted to see what was out there. So what are people currently getting for their money? And there were some really good ones around, some really, really good courses. And there were some really not so good courses. So I kind of cherry picked the best bits and put our own spin on it. We made it our own. One of the things we decided to do, because no one else had done it, was to put a bit of interactivity into our training course. So whoever that is, hello, welcome. Feel free to leave a message or whatever, but I'm nearly done. I'm only going to keep this really, really brief. So this part of our course that I'm going to show you now, we put this in for difference. It's our 3D interactive farm. And what happens is the student gets the option to go in there. Let me bring it up for you. So inside the course, when you click this chapter, it says, hey, welcome to the 3D interactive farm. And there's a briefing, and it tells you, the student, the delegate, that you're about to encounter the Risk and Safety Compliance Services 3D interactive farm, and it tells you what to do. And the idea is really, really simple. If you can see something flashing like you can on the screen now, that means you can do something. It means you can go in there and have a look around and see what you can see. And what we did is we set up lots of hazards, and the brief is go in each of those flashing areas and have a good look around and see if you can spot the hazards. And we encourage the student prior to this particular part to have a notepad and a pen. And as they look around and they see something they think might be dangerous, to make a note of it. I'll show you an example in a moment. But then we ask them to get involved and to really think about things. So now you've identified something you think is a danger. Explain why and what could go wrong. So is it going to kill a person? Is it going to cause business disruption? Is it going to cause a damage to a vehicle or the building? Or what? Tell us what could go wrong. So identify the risk, the danger. Tell us why you think that's a problem. But then really importantly, we ask the students, so now you've done the first two bits, what are you going to do about it? So we get them thinking in real farm and agriculture scenarios, what could be a problem? But then what are they going to do about it? And that's the bit we want them to take back to their own farm, estate, and agricultural or rural business. Ideas that they can implement so they can take the training course and get some real value out of it. And hopefully prevent all of the things that we've spoken about during the course of the training, all of those dangers that are killing and injuring people. We can prevent that from reoccurring in the student's farm or estate. So here we go. This is the 3D farm. This is in UK. Myself and my friend Owen Waitman from 3D Virtual Spaces. We went down to the farm armed with Owen's drone and his wonderful 360 smart camera, same technology that Google used to map the Earth. They probably had a better version, but ours was pretty good anyway. And this was the result after Owen had worked his magic and sewed it all together. This is what we ended up with. And you can drag and click and move around. You can look around the countryside, scan the farm environment, looking for those flashing orange circles. That's the bits, remember, where you can do stuff. But more importantly, you can go inside armed with the brief of look for danger, explain what the problem is, and come up with a solution to prevent it. I'll take you inside the sheep shed very briefly. I don't want to harp on too much. I'm going to keep this nice and quick. And again, it's the same premise. Once you're inside, click, drag, move around, zoom in if you want, say hi to the residents, zoom back out. We're looking for danger. We're looking for things that are going to injure people, cause damage, ruin our business, damage our animals, our livelihood, sat there in those very pens. And we set stuff up for you. I'll give you one example. You can zoom in here to find all of the chemicals and containers that we just left on that table. And now the student's thinking, so why is that a danger? We're hoping they notice there's unlabeled containers and things just left lying around, things without lids on, things all over the floor. So why is that a problem? We want people thinking about it, and then we want them to come up with solutions. And so, for example, they might say, well, we're contravening all the rules of COSH, chemical safety in the workplace. How do we know what's in them? That's a risk. That's dangerous. It might be corrosive. It might be harmful to health, but there's no label on it. What if kids are wandering around? What if these are spilt or not and the animals ingest them? We want them writing all of these things down, and then they can decide that the risks are real. People could get hurt. We could be prosecuted. What if the HSE popped in on this particular day? What if we had a spillage and we contaminated the land, the straw, or we injured our livestock? But then what are we going to do about it? Well, let's get labels. Let's get tight-fitting lids. Let's do COSH assessments. Let's move it away from where it is. Let's get a proprietary locker or a cupboard, and let's lock it away. And it's those simple things that prevent the accidents from occurring in the workplace. It's those simple measures that we can implement at no cost almost, just a little bit of time and a little bit of thought and effort that removes the risk from the workplace and all of the potential downtime and hassles that come with it. Let me just quickly move around. If you see a white thing, you can click it and move forward. And again, you can zoom in and spot the things we've set up, like chainsaws just left lying around without guards on. We can zoom around again, see the animals. You can see, we can press this bit here and stop it. We can see precariously balanced containers of God knows what, some kind of liquid that could be corrosive or dangerous, or a pollutant that could cause issues environmentally. And we want people thinking about, what would I do about that? What can I do to get rid of those dangers? So let me just close that. I'll bring myself back up. Just before I do, I'll quickly show you the store and the workshop as a final example. We're on 15 minutes, so I better be quick. I'm sure you've heard enough of me by now. In the workshop, that will zoom in a moment, and it'll open itself up, give you a view, a doll's house view, and then it will land you inside. And here, as I'm talking now, there's a speech comes on the screen telling you what you can do. You can't hear it during this video. However, it's basically saying, grab your screen, move around, go and find what's wrong in here. We've set up a lot of stuff here for the students to find inside the workshop. You can zoom right in and see all the chemicals and gases and paints and drinks and, you know, all these things. You can click and move forward through items. You can see the randomly placed 2.5 meter high fire extinguisher, no use to man the beast. Go into the actual workshop area itself, where again you can zoom out, or we can turn around and look at all the dangers. If you want to investigate what we've set up even further, you can zoom right in. You might be looking for pack testing labels. You might be looking for safety signage, old out of date posters on walls, or if we spin around and come out a bit, we can see first aid boxes. And the idea is this gets the student thinking. So, you know, as part of the briefing, when you see things, it's not just a question of, oh, there's an eye wash unit. Well, is it in date? Do the people know where it is? Is the signage okay? Is the signage on the outside door? First aid boxes stuck right at the top of the door. Not much use if someone's got something in their eye and they're struggling to see, you know, a bit of dust or something that's preventing their vision from being as accurate as it normally is. That's a problem. Fire extinguishers just dumped on the floor with no signage telling you what their safe uses are. So we've set up lots of things, and it's to get people thinking about risk, about safety in a sort of realistic environment, so that they can take the learnings back to their own workplace and implement safety. So there we go. That's the farm. That's the overall view in the northeast of the United Kingdom, and we got lucky with the weather. So let me get rid of that. We've got one more thing to remind you of, that next week we're going to be at the Cereals Show. Got stand 118 on the Wednesday and the Thursday. That's the 11th and 12th of June. I've not actually exhibited at Cereals myself. I'm going to this year. I did LAMA at the start of the year in conjunction with BASE. They allowed me to use their stand. It was a tremendous success. And what I learned there was that people were really keen to hear about farm safety and rural crime prevention. I'm not going to talk too much about crime prevention now, but if you come and see me next week, not only can you avail yourself of the discounts that I've got running on my farm training courses, you'll be well aware that in July, between the 21st and the 25th of July, I think it is, double checks, yes, 21 to 25 July is Farm Safety Week. And so in the build up from now until the end of that week, you can do my online farm safety training courses and get a good discount as well. One thing about Cereals next week, in line with rural crime prevention, which is one of my other key interests and things that I talk and train about, you can actually get a free access to my rural crime training course. It's a fully online course, very similar to what you've been looking at there on the farm safety side, but it's all dedicated to rural crime. What's the scale of rural crime? What do the criminals get up to? How do they go about their ill-gotten gains? How do they nick your stuff and get away? But more importantly, what can you do as a rural or a farm, a landed estate or an agri-business out there in the sticks? What can you and your teams do to prevent them coming and attacking you and making you a victim? And there's some real simple takeaways that everybody can put into place in their own house, farm, rural business overnight, in an instant, at no cost, that will stop the criminals coming and making you a victim. Easy peasy, really. You can get that course absolutely 100% free by simply coming to talk to me on stand 118 at Serials. Come and say hi, come and have a chat. You'll recognize me. The banners will be up and there'll be a flashing blue siren, so you won't be able to miss us. And we're indoors, so if it's chucking it down with rain, come inside, get yourself a brew, look out for the flashing blue beacon and me, and I'll be there with a colleague of mine, Keith Short, as well. So come and have a chat with me and Keith, and we look forward to welcoming you. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel and join our mailing list, there on the day, I'll have the means for you to click and do that, ready to go. Then you can have free access, no questions asked, no catches, to my rural crime online prevention course. So that's my offer to you. One of the other things you might have seen me talking about at the moment, let me turn that off, and I'm going to end on this note. I have partnered with two really innovative businesses. Erman Systems Limited from Southern Ireland. Managing director is called Martin Curran. Martin has the distribution rights to some very, very clever sanitizing light technology that has a great part to play in the agriculture and landed estate, and particularly diversified estate businesses where people do wedding venues and conferences and events. Anywhere where you've got animals or people, it's not mine. The solution is called BioVite. It's an Italian invention, and through Erman Systems Limited in Ireland and Objective Health Limited here in the UK, Simon Smith is the managing director of Objective Health. We are bringing to the UK market an unbelievable new technology, a light that when you turn it on, not only illuminates as you would expect, but it kills bacteria and viruses and mold spores. Clinically proven, globally patented, and truly unbelievable. But it's here. We are introducing it to the UK now. You're going to hear a lot about it. And I think in the non too distance, you're going to see it just about everywhere. That's our hope anyway. And so we have a light solution, plug and play, replace your old bulbs or strip lights or your specialist lights with our solution, and turn it on, and you get LED cost-effective lighting, and it also kills bacteria, viruses, mold spores in the air and on surfaces. It is truly a game changer. Alexa, sanitize this room.
Sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, turn on room sanitization. And then when the lights come on, those bulbs are now cleaning my atmosphere. They're cleaning the surfaces and killing bacteria. Truly unbelievable. But it's out there, and I'm going to talk about that at Serials next week. So, hey, listen, thank you so much. I've yarked on again. I only was going to do 10 minutes. I've done 23, but there you go. There's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of really exciting stuff going on. Alexa, turn off room sanitization. That goes off. I'm front and center. I want to say thanks for watching. If you've got this far, you've done really, really well. See you down at Serials next week. Stand 118. Come and have a chat. Come and talk about farm safety. Come and talk about rural crime prevention. Why not get a free crime prevention course for you or one of your work colleagues? That's me ending the stream after 24 minutes. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.